Hi, this is Kaofeng Lee with the National Network to End Domestic Violence. For this video, I'm going to talk about Facebook privacy, security, and safety. Now, to cover all of that, I'll probably need to talk to you for a couple hours, so I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to give you some main points to think about. At the end of this video, I'll share some more resources with you. Having a secure and private Facebook account starts at the beginning of creating your account. Many of us probably use our main Gmail or Yahoo email to create our Facebook account. Now, for most of us, that's fine. However, if you are someone who is concerned about your privacy or is worried that someone might get into your account, consider using a separate email address just for your Facebook account. The reason this is more private is that you probably give out your main email address to a lot of people. Since Facebook uses that email address to log into your account, all those people who have your email address only needs to guess your password in order to get into your account. My second tip is that Facebook actually has a lot of information about privacy and security options on their site. Lately, they've been using the blue dinosaur to teach their users about privacy. Now, many of you probably ignore the dinosaur and go straight to your newsfeed. That's okay, I do that too. However, the blue dinosaur is actually pretty useful. We often hear that Facebook's settings are really confusing, but it's not that it's confusing, it's just that there's a lot of it. This is actually pretty great because you get a lot of control over who sees your content. You just have to know how to use it. So follow the blue dinosaur and learn as much as you can about Facebook settings. My biggest advice is just to go through every single setting. Learn what each setting does and figure out what you want your setting to be. Now, I'm not going to go through every single setting in this video because that's a lot, but here are some highlights. Security settings. Many people go straight to the privacy settings and they don't think of security. Security settings control how someone can access your account, and these settings are pretty important. We actually have a video on security settings, so check out that video for more tips. Understand blocking. The other thing that I want to highlight is blocking. Some people suggest that if someone is harassing you, you can just block them. Sometimes that works, but it's important to understand that there are limitations to blocking. In Facebook, blocking will prevent the other person from connecting with you, whether it's to tag you, talk to you, invite you to an event, or request to be your friend. However, blocking won't prevent them from posting things about you. So if someone is harassing you, blocking them is one option, but you might also want to talk to someone you trust, a domestic violence advocate, or the police to see what your options are. Finally, the last thing I'll highlight is tagging. Tagging is when you post a picture or talk about someone in a post and you tag it with their name. When someone tags you, it shows up in your timeline, and sometimes, depending on their settings, your friends could see it too, even if they're not friends with the original poster. This section goes through tagging options, which includes approving tags before they appear. Alright, tip number 4. One of the things that people sometimes forget, even if they're diligent about their privacy and security settings, is going through their About settings. There's actually quite a lot of personal information here because this is where you fill in your profile. You can decide not to answer some of these questions because you may decide that people don't need to know where you work or your favorite quote. If you do want to share, make sure you select the right audience. Okay, tip number 5. Facebook has a cool feature that allows you to view your page as someone else. You can see what your page looks like if it was the public, basically someone who's not your friend, or from the perspective of a specific friend. This is really useful because it helps you figure out which photo or status update ended up being shared a bit more broadly than you intended. You can always go back and change the privacy setting of that post or picture to limit who can see it. Here's my last tip. Like many other social network sites, some information will always be public because that's how social media works. On Facebook, if someone finds your page, they will always see your name, which includes your user ID, your profile picture, your cover photo, your gender, and any networks you belong to. Now, what I suggest is that you be strategic about these items. You can choose not to use a photo of yourself or perhaps use a nice landscape as your cover photo. Even though this content is public, you can still have a little bit of privacy. Remember that Facebook is about connecting people, and that's often done through sharing information about each other. Although Facebook gives you a lot of control over who sees what, not everything you share on Facebook will always be private. So think about that and think through of how and what you share on Facebook. In some cases, you may just decide not to share. So to summarize, use a separate email account for Facebook, check out Facebook's help pages, go through every setting, review your About settings, use the Viewed As feature to see what your profile looks like to others, and know that some information will always be public. There's no way we can cover everything about Facebook privacy, security, and safety in a short video, but we do have a Facebook guide written specifically for survivors of intimate partner violence. I'll link to the guide in the description box below. We have it in English, Spanish, French, Vietnamese, and Chinese. Also, be sure to check out our other resources on techsafety.org/resources. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thanks for watching.